I'll conclude this little trilogy of videos about St Bartholomew for his feast day with a little indication of the ultimate eternal destiny of this apostle. Though the Poem of the Man God, aka the Gospel as Revealed to Me, is a vast work full of information, and in addition to that there are Maria Valtorta's diaries, which give huge amounts of information about many things which are very important to us. Jesus and Mary's thoughts on many, many things, as well as other visions about saints. And this applies to there's much to be obtained from reading the book of Azariah, which gives meditations on the 52 weeks of the year, the masses for each of those 52 weeks in the old calendar and the old liturgical calendar. And then there are what have been recently translated into English, the little notebooks, where we get more information from Jesus and the Blessed Virgin and Azariah as well, to some small extent. Nonetheless, despite all this huge amount of information that's given us from heaven, Jesus said to Maria Valtorta, because of the lukewarm reception, often hostile reception, and in general, and the failure of the Servite order particularly to do the job that Jesus had assigned it, to protect Maria Valtorta particularly from hostile forces and to safeguard the work, he would not give the even greater amount of revelation that he planned to give. So I can't tell you what the fate of St Bartholomew was, but I think that we would have found out had there been a better response to this work back in the 1940s and 50s. And that's our loss. I trust that Maria Valtorta is in heaven already. She didn't lose in any way, but we certainly have done, I think. So all we can say is that there are various speculations as to what happened to St Bartholomew, whether he was martyred in Iran, what is now Iran, or India. We just don't really know. So I shall read from the Last Supper, at the point where Jesus is washing the feet of the various apostles. And that will tell us what Jesus says about the saint's destiny, Bartholomew's destiny. Jesus has washed Peter's feet. He kisses them, and Peter weeps and takes Jesus' 2 hands in his own big ones, and he rubs them against his eyes, and then kisses them. Simon also has taken off his sandals, and without one word, he lets Jesus wash his feet. Then, when Jesus is about to pass on to Bartholomew, Simon kneels down and kisses his feet, saying, "Cleanse me from the leprosy of sin, as you cleansed me from the leprosy of my body, that I may not be confused in the hour of judgment, my Saviour." This is Simon the Zealot, just to interrupt there, who was cleansed by Jesus of leprosy just shortly before he became an apostle. And that's very early on in the Poem of the Man God, the first volume of the 1986 hardback edition, from which I'm reading. To continue, Jesus replies to Simon the Zealot, "Be not afraid, Simon. You will come to the heavenly city, as white as mountain snow." "And what about me, Lord? What are you going to say to your old Bart? You saw me in the shade of the fig tree, and you read my heart. And now, what do you see? And where do you see me? Reassure a poor old man who is afraid he may not have strength and time to become what you want him to be." Bartholomew is deeply moved. "You must not be afraid either. I then said, 'Here is a true Israelite, in whom there is no deceit.' Now I say, 'Here is a true Christian, worthy of the Christ.' Where do I see you? On an eternal throne, dressed in purple. I shall always be with you,